Okay, hi everybody. Today we're going to work on two very different mugs. One is going to be our Birch mug with a few little cardinals hidden here and there in the branches of the trees. This one's a little bit more detailed and complicated. The other mug we're going to do is a Sgraffito, and I'm only throwing it in there just to have a little bit of fun. Now in the last video I worked on this plastic and I didn't clean off the stroking coat. I left it there. After it dries, you can pop it off and break it up into little pieces, into dust, what have you, like this. And when you're glazing things, save this, and you can use this, and it'll act like crystals. And even though they're little squares, odd shapes, when they fire, they generally round out, so you'll end up with like little dots. So yeah, save that. Don't throw it away. Okay, the Birch mug. Base coat your mug, 3 coats FN white, 0001. Okay, set that aside. Let it dry good overnight. Put that one. After it's dry, well, the second mug, base coat it with, I did 3 coats of FN yellow orange. Okay, and let that dry good. I did that one inside and out. I didn't do the inside of the cardinal mug, because I want to put red or blue or what have you. But this one, you can just go ahead, slap 3 coats of glaze all over it. Okay, the cardinal mug. I took masking tape and I put 3 full 1-inch strips of masking tape sporadically around, not side by side. Then I took my masking tape, put it out on the table, and I sliced it. Okay, now your glaze is dry, your masking tape will stick. You will have areas even after it's dry that just don't want to stick. Just kind of work that till it sticks down. If you don't want to use masking tape, you can always use the paper strip method. We'll talk about that in another video. Okay, so my cardinal mug is ready to glaze for the next step, and my yellow Sgraffito mug is ready to glaze. Let's start with the Sgraffito mug first, because it's kind of straightforward. And we're going to go with tree green. You don't have to use yellow. You can use any color in there. And basically all you're going to do is over top of your yellow, put 3 coats of the tree green. Okay, we'll come back to that, but basically over top of the yellow, 3 coats of green. Try not to get up on your lip or inside, because we want that to stay yellow, or in the other cases white. If you were doing a blue mug and you want the inside blue, then don't glaze the inside. Wait until this step and glaze 3 coats inside and out. But in this case, I want the inside yellow, so we're going to leave that there, okay? I'll put that aside, and we'll save that for the next part of the video. Again, my water bowl, my little red scrubby down in there. Brush your brush across it to clean off all that glaze. You can swish it on the side, but the scrubby really helps pull the paint residue out. Okay, cardinal mug. Let's get that one going. And we're basically going to start with, again, Colorobbia Bellissimo glazes, and we're going to put out a puddle of Mermaid Song. I got the title right this time. And I'm also going to put out a little puddle of Snow Queen. Again, we're going to be working in a painterly fashion, so you can take your cat's tongue or your flat. You go with the flat just because, again, wet it in your water. Okay, seals the ferrule. And we're going to go with the wet brush directly onto our white, just to dampen that edge a little bit. And we're going to come back in with our mermaid's tail. Again, not solid, one coat here and there, alternate with some white into that. The mermaid's tail is going to give us, again, water on this side, a little bit of yellow there, no big deal. The mermaid's tail is going to help give us a little bit of a foggy, misty shade in the morning. Okay, again, here and there, no straight lines, just chop it in, white. Don't even have to clean your brush between colors. Streaky is what we want to see here. And even over here, don't worry about the handle, because we're going to coat that with whatever color we want later on. But I do like to keep everything going in the same direction, up and down, for no real reason. Smear some water up on this one and this one. Okay, coming around a little bit more streaky. Now, since my FN white is tinted blue, it's a little hard to see. Really, well, it's like a turquoise blue. Camera's moving. That's the cat. Sorry, I'm sitting on a tripod, and you know cats. I'm sure he'll be up in my face here in a minute. Now, I didn't go the whole way down to the bottom. I want pure white below, so I really only came just down to around the bell. Okay, and after you get that slapped on, one thin coat, we're going to wash that brush out, and we're going to switch to a round brush, and we're going to use Colorobbia Stormy Sky. Stormy Sky is a gray, but it's a brownish gray. It's not truly gray. Okay, I'm gonna come up in here now with my Menta brush. I have tape on there. I should explain. I put the swirls of tape on my brush, if you can see it. It's auto detailing tape, and I started it just so I could tell my brushes from everybody else's, but I kind of switched to two colors, so now all of my brushes with the pink detailing are for glaze, the black detailing is for acrylics. It just helps when you use the same brush back and forth, you're not cross-contaminating your brush. Okay, Stormy Gray, load up your brush, roll to about as big as a point as you can, and we're going to put in background trees. Alright, now you can come straight up or come in this one, because we're going to plant this one straight up in the middle. It's a little bit of a bigger tree. Okay, one coat, that's it. Come this one, I want this one to be a little bit closer to the edge of that tape, so plant it toward the bottom, drag it up. And I like to get one back in here under the handle. And come up on the top of that handle as well, so it looks like the tree grows up and out of there. These don't have to be perfect. They're in the shadow, and they're going to stay shadows, so you don't have to really have perfect lines. This one I'm going to plant this one close to that tape. Over here, another. Up in the middle. And you see, I constantly, after each brush stroke, I reload. Come to the point, up along this side of this tape. I don't really want to totally take out my background, but I kind of want just a few suggestions of trees. They don't even have to be straight. But just remember, the bottom of the tree is generally bigger than the top, although birch trees generally do grow straight. Okay, rinse that brush out, scrub it in the water. Done with that one for now. Okay, I'm over here with my detail liner, Mayco 10-aught. Again, you come in the paint, roll it out to a point, and turn the mug so the bottom is, you're pulling towards you. My big thing from the last video is always draw towards you. And we're going to come in here and just put some indications of branches. As we come even like into the middle of the tree, that will be darker because it's a little bit heavier. Okay, this tree under the handle, let's bring it up. Squiggly lines, nothing straight. Tree branches never grow straight. They're always old and wrinkly. Here and there, just draw them in. Nothing symmetrical, keep everything kind of odd. So if you're doing branches, don't just do 2, do 3. When you work on any type of design, even flower arranging, you should always work in odd numbers. Okay, let's bring that tree. And down here in the snow, you can put some wispies out. Like I said, we really don't want a lot of definition. These are background in the shadows. Okay, and set that aside. Wash out the brush. Okay, now I'm going to come with some Snow Queen and Mermaid Song, and we're going to do the snow line. I want the tops of the snow not to so much be white. It's just going to give us more of a definition to line, to plant the trees down into the snow. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to load the brush with Snow Queen, both sides, little puddle, wet. Okay, and I'm going to come over here to the mermaid's tail, just with the corner of my brush, dip into the Snow Queen. I have both colors on there. Now, clean space on my plastic. I'm going to lay my brush down and I'm going to draw. Draw it toward you. Leaving that little bubble, a little bump on there. The bubble on the top. Okay, now, I'm going to find the bottom of our gray trees. A little bit stronger, Snow Queen. I mean, Mermaid Song. And we're going to plant those trees into the snowbank. Don't go straight. I don't even know if you can really see this. There, you can kind of see now. I'm just coming along the bottom. And since I have both colors on the brush, I'm getting almost like an ombre between them. Again, a little bit more Snow Queen and Mermaid Song on my brush. Blot off. Let me come over onto that tree. It's a little bit higher, just to get around there a little bit. Okay, other side of the mug. Always dip same side of your brush into the Mermaid Song. Come over here on this one. If you end a little bit darker line at the top, it's not a big deal. Like I said, this is background anyway. But since we have both colors on the brush, it is giving me a gradation, a shadow down in. Okay. And that's pretty much the background. You can come in with a little bit more white if you think it's too strong. A little bit more white. Blend it up in. There we go. Okay, now, at this point, we're ready to work on our birch. So, we can peel the tape off, and what's under the tape becomes our birch trees. Snow White, which birch trees are white. Okay. That peeled off. And you don't want to wait for the paint to dry to pull the tape, because if you do, your edges are not going to be straight. They're going to be, it'll chip the paint as you pull it off. That one's a little bit stubborn. Okay. Now we're ready to start with our birch trees. And you can see pretty much where you're going to paint. Okay, back up a little bit because we're going to move. Watch that brush. Now, we're going to move into Black Swan. Put that up here. Ah. Tops always get clogged up a little bit. Ah. Alright, detail liner. First step I like to do is I decide how far down my trees are from the back row, and I'm going to put a thin line of black along that edge. And it does not have to be a perfectly straight line, because we're going to come back in anyway. So go ahead and pause. I'm going to pause the video. But go ahead and do your black lines on all your trees. Okay, I'm going to pause the video and do that far. Okay, I have all my trees outlined, and we're going to start with the cross hatching on the birch tree. And we're going to use a small flat, wet it with water. Okay, and basically you're just going to come and lay your flat against the side of the birch tree and drag it across. Not covering that whole tree, just here and there. Okay. Now, Turn the brush, turn the mug, come up the other side. Okay, now, so we have that far down. Zoom in here a little bit. Okay. I'm going to take my detail liner, roll it in the black swan. Now, I'm going to just put some choppies in, kind of bubble. Just to kind of define, because that shader brush, that small shader going through, is great just to get some color down, but the detail liner, we can really come through here and play a little bit. And this is what really gives you the birch bark look. Always pull toward you. If you go the other way, it just never quite goes the way it's supposed to. Some of them can even be connected. Up to the rim. Alright, if you get an area where you have too much black, you can take a cleaning tool, scratch it out, or even come a little bit of Snow Queen and come back in. Your black will show through Snow Queen, but it'll give you a more of a gray area. So, okay, so that's our tree. That's how you do a tree. I'll almost drop the brush. Okay. Now, we have branches on our shadow trees, so we need branches on our front-facing trees as well. You can start at the very edge, overlap, squiggles, draw toward you. Come underneath that handle. Zoom over top of the brown, the gray-brown tree in there. Don't worry about the handle. Okay, and again, odd numbers, so each branch should have 3, 5. I wouldn't go more than 5 extra little branches, it just kind of looks silly. And you can even come in. Here's a little dark area, so I'm going to do a little half moon rounded area, and from the center of that I'm going to bring a branch out. Over. Okay, so that one is planted in, that branch is coming out from this side in the middle of the tree. Turn your mug. Halfway, about halfway between the two, I'm going to come with another branch up this way with 3 Ys. And maybe one little bit up here. And that one is a newer branch. Okay, so I have 4 on there. I need one more. Keep it odd. So I'm going to come up here above and put a black branch. Okay. In the area in between, birch trees will come up like a root. They grow in clumps. So I will even come up out of the snow and come straight around. And even with a few short strokes. Always drag toward you. Okay, so that's how you do a birch tree. Continue that the whole way around. We'll pause. Okay, after you have your trees all done the whole way around, we're going to plant the trees in the front. Very similar to the back, except we're going to use a little bit of Moody Blue mixed in with our mermaid song. So load your brush up, like I said before, with white. Tint the one side in your Moody Blue. Bring it up to a clean spot. Tint a little bit of mermaid song. Moody Blue. And you're just going to kind of brush mix it on your brush. And we're going to come up here on our trees, and we're going to start here. The reason we're adding the Moody Blue into the mix on this is just that it helps to have a little bit a different shade here and there, especially as you get closer. Your colors will automatically always be a little bit deeper. Okay. Okay, do that the whole way around. Plant all of your trees down in. And now we're going to do us a little cardinal here with Colorobbia's Tomato, our detail liner. I'm going to come down here on my paper and show you basic how to do a bird. No, that's a little too close. Okay. So basically, we go into our red with our detail liner, and we're going to put a little red dot. Okay, from that dot comes out the breast, the back, and the tail. It's kind of like the letter S, except the sides are closed in. Okay, pick a branch. Not every branch has a red bird. Let's say on this side there's a red bird right here. Tilt him up. Belly. Belly comes around. And tail. Cross the branch with the tail. Come in the back. And pull up on the top of your dot to get that crest for the red bird. Okay, that's pretty much all there is to the red bird. After your red sets up a little bit, you can go into some black, come up here and darken around the eye, just to put a little bit of a black mix in with the red, like the cardinal has a little bit of black around its face. That's your red bird mug. Okay. After it's all dried and you're happy with the way everything looks, fire it to cone 06. Okay, our green mug that we were working on. I'll give you a little hint, since we have two colors on the top. To keep your color straight as you're putting it on, just follow it up and flip off. That'll give you a straight edge around with your color. Okay, since we have the yellow underneath, 3 coats of green on top. Our green is still a little bit on the damp side. You're going to pick a place to start. I usually start here by the handle, and I'm going to use my ball daughter instead of using a scratchy, pointy Sgraffito, because I don't really want it to go the whole way clear down to bare bisque. I want the yellow. I want to see that yellow come through. And basically, we're just going to start and we're going to draw a basic vine. Now, you can see the yellow is underneath there. Okay. And when you do a vine, you have to have leaves. So we're gonna just give a little quick indentation of a leaf shape. Line in the middle. You don't even have to connect it to the mug. And basically, that's just it. Have fun. to do a nice little flower in here, it's pretty easy. It's kind of similar shape to the leaf, except we're going to do 3 of them together and draw back to our vine. Okay, do your entire mug like that. Once it's dry, take a dry, stiff brush, brush off your little nibs, let it dry good, fire to cone 06. Alright, and you're ready and set to go. Alright, thanks for watching. Any questions, just ask. Alright, bye.